Hiya, thanks for joining me again on this video. My name is Patrick now and I've been living and working in Poland since 2010. And in this particular page and in these videos, I'm giving you a bit of my advice after 6 years of living and working in Poland on how to handle yourself here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to learn Polish, and this is just my experience in the last 6 years. I came to the country literally hardly knowing a word. I'd done a little bit of classes in London, but it wasn't really enough to prepare me at all. I thought that I'd be able to get by. I had this ludicrous ambition to be speaking fluently within 1 year. What I can tell you is that after 6 years of quite a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent in classes, a lot of different teachers, and a lot of work outside of the classes, I am now in a position where I'm able to speak Polish fluently at work with customers. I also take part in media interviews, write articles and stuff. But I've still got a long way to go, so don't think of me as some kind of Polish language expert. I'm not at all. I'm just a normal bloke, and I am really passionate about Poland, so I thought, and I've had a lot of questions about this, to give some advice on living in Poland. Now, this video is a bit dark. I'm in my kid's bedroom. It's the only place where I can have a little bit of quiet to actually relax and record this video without hearing some kind of noises. I've got 10 pieces of advice for you, and I want to give them to you as quickly as possible so that you can just go ahead and implement them yourself. Number one, there is no such thing as an easy way to learn Polish. So if you are in contact with someone who's saying to you, oh, learn in 30 days or 60 days, or, you know, learning Polish is easy, if that's the name of their school, forget about it. It is not easy. Learning any language is hard. But Polish will be difficult for you if you're British or American or an English speaker, because it is a very different language structure. There will be a lot of difficulties along the way. So if anyone's telling you that they can do it for you and it's going to be easy, forget about it. You have to just accept this fact that it's going to be a long road ahead of you. I'm in a certain level after 6 years. I know I've probably got at least 10 or 15 years of language learning ahead of me, and I'll still never be treated as a native Pole because I've got this thick British accent. Anyway, I'm going to give you my 10 top tips now. Number one, immersion. The thing that worked for me really well was the fact that I spent as much time as possible in the language. That meant that when I moved here, I didn't spend any time with any Brits. I didn't go to the pub or watch English sport or English TV. I spent my entire time trying to go really deep into Polish. I was listening to podcasts. I still think it's my number one piece of advice. Listen to podcasts if you're walking to work, if you're going anywhere, just make sure you're listening to a Polish language podcast. Doesn't matter what they're talking about. You'll start to hear things that repeat themselves again and again, and you'll go to your partner or a friend and you'll say, hang on, I just heard this, what does that mean? And it all goes in your brain. Even if you can't understand it, it's being stuffed in there. Same is true of television, of newspapers. It's easier to hear and watch than it is to read, but I would definitely suggest that basically at any point you can in the day, you are filling your life with the Polish language. Number two, it is a marathon, not a sprint. I've already explained that, yeah? You have to be aware that there are certain levels. What level do you want to speak at? If your objective is only to become a conversational speaker, then work towards that objective. If your objective is to become fluent in Polish, then you need to understand that's going to be a super long-term process. Number three, fleszki. I found little cards in which I had Polish words written down, and then on the other side, the English language translation was super effective in terms of learning a huge amount of vocabulary quickly. So I'd write them down on both sides, and then I'd have this massive pile, and I'd sit on the plane or the train or wherever I was, and I would literally just read the Polish word, try and guess the answer, look on the other side. If I was right, it would go in one part. If I was wrong, it would go in the other. And pretty soon I could start to put all of those right words to one side, and I could focus on the words that I couldn't remember. And I thought that was really, really useful. Number four, don't take any shortcuts. I thought to myself, oh, I won't do this, or I'll try and smudge the endings of the words so that people kind of can't really tell if I'm correct or not. There are no shortcuts to learning this language, and it's just like swimming. If you do something a little bit differently, then you're going to carry on doing it forever because it's all up there in your muscle memory. Number five, for me, what really worked well was having one teacher 2 times a week for 90 minutes. I think that that's genuinely the best way to do it, and then obviously to focus on doing your homework as well. If you haven't got the money or the time, or it's not possible to do that, then obviously class group sessions are good. But of course, you're only going to go as fast as the weakest person in the group. And if that's you, then you probably need to have specialised tuition focused on your needs. If someone else has got a problem with pronunciation, I studied with a Chinese girl. She was really nice, but she just could not pronounce the words. That wasn't a problem for me. Then you are being taught what they need to know, not what you need to know. So I would also recommend changing your teachers regularly. So having a teacher for 6 to 9 months, they're going to teach you to a certain standard. You're going to have a block. You're going to have something you can't get past, and with that teacher, you can't go forward. You need to then go and find another teacher. Number 6, I think I've run out of numbers here. Record yourself. Record yourself speaking Polish and look back, and you'll be amazed that in 6 months' time, you won't perceive it from day to day, but you will have made big progress, and that's incredibly encouraging. Number 7, be a detective. Go out and find those words, make those small discoveries, remembering that small steps add up to a very, very big journey. And never has that been more true than when you're learning a language. When I look at where I am now compared to where I was, standing in a shop like an idiot, with 5 people standing behind me, feeling sweat down the back of my neck because I couldn't remember the word for a plastic bag. I've come a long way since then. Number 8, read what you like, watch what you like. Don't just read Dickens or Szymborska because you think you have to. It's not about trying to be clever. The first books I read in Polish were biographies of sporting stars in the 70s where they got drunk, had fights, and met up with women and stuff, because it's just easy to read. And I still read those kind of books because they're good. Number 9, maybe, theory. Super important. You do understand the theory. It can't be got around. You do need to understand grammar. It's particularly important. And what I really recommend is that you have that grammar in the... Little bit of a brief pause there because I ran out of memory on my phone. Just finishing up now. Don't worry about mistakes. Celebrate successes. You can always tell when someone corrects you for your mistake and you go, oh, sorry. Don't say sorry, say thank you that they corrected you. And you've got to bear in mind, you will be making mistakes. Be comfortable with them. I think one of the reasons why I've learned Polish so quickly is because I haven't spent, I should have spent more time thinking about my mistakes. I've just been focusing on being able to communicate with people, and that's been my number one challenge. Final couple of things, I would say, make sure you take exams. Even when you're starting, go for that initial A2 or A1 exam and just see what the exam is. The important thing is that people understand you, and you don't get that through doing the exams, but it does push you to cover off all of those things, those weaknesses that you have. And then my final piece of advice is repetition, and this is all about being immersion. Just keep on plugging away. Very small steps. You're not going to learn this language in 6 months. Forget about it. Unless you're a genius. It's going to take you a long time. I would say that I really accelerated when I did 3 years of language learning, twice a week, 90 minutes, plus my homework, plus spending lots of time with people, and that's definitely the amount of time that I would suggest you put into learning. But obviously, the more you do, the more you get out. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll probably be adding other videos on this subject for English people. If you've got a problem, I hope I can help. You can drop me a quick email. You can visit my website, patrick-nay.com. You can sign up to my newsletter, contact me there, or join me on Facebook. See you later, and good luck with learning Polish. Powodzenia. Trzymaj się.